Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Here we go with the third game in this best of 5 series from the end of this StarCraft 2 tournament. This has been a very intense day. Both of these players doing very well. afiLiazn just dropped, I believe, what was his first game of the tournament to Lelouch in the first match, and then rallied, denied multiple Baneling busts from Lelouch in that second game, and was able to take the match. And so now we'll have to see, is Lelouch going to go for that same huge Baneling bust style, or has afiLiazn figured it out? The thing is, with this map, Tal'Darim Altar, it is definitely a lot harder to hold your natural, just because this is much harder to wall off than it is on the other maps. And of course, even if you chose to wall off your ramp, there's this third, and units can just run around from there, go straight into your mineral line if you chose to do that. So we may well see afiLiazn go for some kind of one base play, just because of the fact that the Baneling busts that Lelouch likes are just so hard to hold on a bigger ramp. So we do see this drone is going to be coming out right here, probably scouting, I guess, the top right position first. And we do see a barracks on the way from afiLiazn. Pretty standard timing. Actually, no. Maybe not quite. It is actually being built a bit early, I would say, on 12 supply, but I might just be wrong. I'm just not very good at Terran, really. So he is going ahead, throwing up that refinery, and just doing the standard opener. This is the opener you'll often see Terran players do, just because unless you want to go for a huge economic play or a lot of Marines, like a 2-racks, you need that gas. And we actually see Lelouch going for a 17 hatch this game. A very greedy play. It's actually going to be a little bit late there by about 100 minerals almost. And we have another drone being built, and we are going to see what I imagine will be a 17 pool. I don't think there's any way he can get up to 18. He won't have La Larva to build a drone with. And yes, there we go. He's going to be building that drone almost as soon as he can. So he goes for very late pool. We do have the barracks finished, and he is just going to be walling this off with supply depots for now, it seems. Which, I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure he has a very specific reason, because, of course, against the Baneling bust, which Lelouch seems to favor so very much, the supply depot walls are not going to be a very strong way to hold. And actually, as he just showed, it's not actually a full wall right there. You can actually run past right there. And another very annoying thing, you can actually put overlords here, and they cannot be spotted. So very, very annoying right there. But these Marines are going to be trying to pick off that Overlord. The drone is going to be coming in, but he will be able to kill that. I'd imagine, yes, there he is. He is able to kill those. He's going to grab this Marine as well. Kill this before too much happens. And the barracks, I'm not actually sure where it is planning to go. Oh, it actually is just going to be sighting the high ground, so he can't kill that Overlord. So these units are all just going to run out, pick off that Overlord. Very annoying for Lelouch. And he actually has an SCV hidden in the bushes there. I'm not sure if Lelouch actually heard saw that. He actually has it here in the back of the base, and it looks like Lelouch did indeed see that with something. He's selling something to go over there. It might be a rallied unit. We will see in just a bit. Looks like the Overlord is actually going to be running. afiLiazn deciding not to pick that off, and instead he's just going to be pulling back and completing that wall. It is still not a full wall over here. You can see that just by looking, but he is going to be going ahead and completing that. It looks like we're actually going to see double factory, I would imagine Hellion build, but Lelouch is throwing down a Roach Warren right here. So this has a potential to be very dangerous for afiLiazn right here, because if he chooses to go for a double factory Hellion play, which he is, and his opponent goes for Roach push with, say, maybe 7 Roaches like he's done in the past, he could be hurt very badly. Of course, the Hellions do almost no damage versus the Roaches, but we did see I think it was Lelouch. No, we did not. It was not Lelouch that dropped the game earlier today to the mass Hellion player. Maybe it was. I'm not actually sure. I don't remember all the games that I have been casting today, especially because they're not like hugely known names. And a lot of Terran versus Zerg, everything just ran together just a little bit. So right now, we have afiLiazn going ahead, bunkering up just a little bit. He's going to be starting this Hellion production, I guess. He's actually going to be getting... No, he's going to be getting a siege tank. Very interesting. With it cancels the pre-igniter, getting the siege tank. I'm not sure if he scouted anything or if there was a reason he chose to go for that. Oh, he did see the Roach Warren. I guess he chose to scan, which would definitely make sense because it shows him exactly what tech to go. And at the same time, Lelouch flying in, he does see what's happening, but he does not see the starport. He does see the factory with the tech lab, so he probably thinks his opponent is going to be going for some sort of a Hellion play, which of course would be hugely wonderful for him. But instead we have a starport switching off to the tech lab here. and producing a Banshee. At the same time, we have a whole bunch of Hellions on the way. And so, as a result of that, Lelouch is not going to be building Roaches just because he saw the tech lab with that. So he would assume there might be tanks, and the Zerglings would be much better against that. But instead, he's going to be going up against Hellions and the tank, which Hellions, a tank, and Banshees. And this is definitely one of the best counters to a big Baneling Zergling play that you can possibly get. And we have almost unfailingly seen Lelouch do this big Baneling, big Zergling play if it is at all possible. He's sending Zerglings out to actually break down the rocks to his third instead of going for a Baneling bust as I thought he was. And we see building a command center right here. He has a nice little wall, though, with just units preventing this from going down. He has a bunker, the siege tanks, and Hellions as well. And he actually has one Banshee complete, and he has another that will be headed to the base very soon. He does not have Cloak, but it will be done by the time the second Banshee is done. Zerglings coming out all the way across the map, and we'll have to see, is he going to be able to hold if this push happens. Of course, again, the Hellions do huge damage. The factory going outside, which again, I guess just kind of constricts movement space. It's actually a very nice play, constricts the movement space, which could let the Hellions get off even bigger hits against all these units. But of course, as soon as the Zerglings are totally across the map, the Banshee coming in for Lelouch, it is just going to start picking off drones as soon as it comes into the base, very quickly clicking quite a few of them. So we can watch the workers kill tab just kind of racking up in Lelouch's favor here. We see a 7 should be killed soon. He's actually going to be going ahead, killing the queen before he runs out of energy. We have another Banshee coming out across the map, but the Baneling bust is going to commence right now. This is a huge swell of units coming out from Lelouch, heading towards the center of the map. And they're going to be running in. If the Hellions can get off good enough pushes, he could be in okay shape, but the Banelings are going to be busting through. The Hellions taking shots, and there are a lot of Zerglings in the base, but the Hellions have the potential to do a lot of damage. The siege tanks do go down, a single Baneling heading towards the mineral line, but of course it can't actually kill any of the units by itself. There are a lot of units surrounding these barracks. A Banshee is out. These Banshees at the same time doing a lot of work back here in these bases, in the base of Lelouch. You see they have killed almost everything. He does lose the one Banshee because he's too busy microing back in his base, but he has the Hellions holding position, stopping the Zerglings from being killed, or the Hellions from being killed. They do eventually go down, but the Banshee's doing a whole lot of damage. He did not lose too many SCVs here. You see he's trying to kill the Hellion. The SCVs are actually stopping that from happening. So Lelouch was able to kill 10 workers there, but his opponent killed 25, so he is definitely in better shape now than his opponent. Despite the success of that Baneling bust, he did a lot of damage. More Zerglings just kind of being rallied across the map, and there is a pretty constant flow of them, but the Banshees should be able to clean this up. Of course they do. Two-shot the Zerglings. And Lelouch actually might be in trouble because he's losing so many workers now. The worker kill count was just evened up by Lelouch rallying over all these units. And I actually don't think he's going to be able to hold. He has another command center on the way, but he does not. He just finished up his wall, but he does not have very many units at all. Lelouch does not look like he's in very good shape. He's down on workers 26-1. The mule is most likely going to get sniped. Yes, it is going to get sniped. It is going to try and repair that just before it dies. But the rallying Zerglings are probably going to be picking this off. The mule landing, going to try and do some repairing on this while it is still alive, but more Zerglings coming. But it seems as if Lelouch might be in okay shape. He's actually going to be able to kill almost all of these. There will be no more Baneling busts coming soon. So you see he's on 17 supply, but he is down by 26 on workers. He does have the 2 Banshees, 2 Marines, and a siege tank on the field. The siege tank does have siege mode, which will be very good for preventing any more of these units from running in. Of course, the Banshees as well, but of course, as soon as Lelouch starts to move in these units just a little bit, there will be a lot of damage done to all those Zerglings, and he will be forced to run away. But unfortunately for Lelouch, all of these units have been, or all of the mineral lines have been kind of safeguarded, so he's going to start running in, see that there's a siege tank, be like, well, I guess I can't actually attack that. So Lelouch is actually not in too terrible of shape. But there is a layer on the way right now, and we do see he is behind on workers by about 30 right now. He does have the mules. He has the second orbital command right here. Then they are able to do a good amount of mining, of course, very quick, but he's already down on several mineral patches. You can see they've been muled very heavily. These Banshees running and going to see if they can't get any work done. It seems they are going to be able to kill a few workers as they sit. is to make sure to stay out of range of the Spore. If he could pick off some Zerglings, that could be very good for him. And yeah, we see he is going to go ahead do just that, picking off those Zerglings. He doesn't want to lose that Banshee, though. And he is actually hugely catching up in the supply. We see in the workers he's not in great shape, but he does have this extra command center. He is starting to get the Hellions and Marines and Siege Tanks here, and that'll definitely help him defend against any kind of Baneling bust that is going to happen. But we have the Spire play coming out from Lelouch, and of course Spire kind of counters all those units which afiLiazn is getting, which are just so important for countering that big ground play that it seems like Lelouch likes to go for oh so much. And so currently all these units streaming across the map, they are going to scout that there is an expansion done for afiLiazn, or there is an expansion out. Of course, the Siege Tank able to kill all these units very quick, not even a single Zergling able to reach, forced to retreat very quickly. And afiLiazn actually is doing a very good job with his macro, despite still being behind by about 30 workers. He's catching up very quickly in the units tab. But the problem being that the Spire just finished, and afiLiazn does not have anything that can help him kill all of these air units. He has his armory, which of course would allow him to get a Thor if he so chose, but he has Blue Flame. But the problem is 10 mutas are on the way, and all he has are 3 Marines. He has no engineering bay, no medevacs. And honestly, unless he can somehow end the game before now, or before the mutas hit, there is no way he could possibly win this game right now. Here we go, the mutas just spawned. They're flying back into his base, just to make sure that afiLiazn does not see. The Banshees are going to be running in, seeing if there's any way they could do any damage, but really, this is the ultimate anti-Zergling force, Zergling Baneling force. It is not going to do anything against these mutas as soon as these pop. afiLiazn is just going to have to go ahead and GG. He does have a Thor on the way. But the problem is that the Thor just gets magic boxed. There are all 11 of these mutas, and they will just kill that. They can also snipe the factory before anything happens, and I think we're going to see afiLiazn GG any second now. He's actually staying in the game, which I think is very impressive. Running back, the 3 Marines trying to do whatever damage they can, but you see they die very quickly. afiLiazn's unit simply cannot do anything. The Thor is out, and it can possibly get off one really good hit on these mutas if he is not careful. So it does get off a hit. He lost a few mutas, but he has so many that it doesn't even matter. The Thor is just going to get magic box, and it's really just going to die as soon as it happens. This game shouldn't be prolonged anymore because I'm tired. And the Banshees is coming back. SCV's doing repairs, but Lelouch, he's up by double supply now, which his opponents started to catch up earlier, afiLiazn did, but of course these mutas are just going to run in, they're going to do even more damage, as long as they don't ball up too much, and yeah, here we go, they're going to magic box over the Thor. The Thor is going to go down very quickly, but he is balling up a little bit, but there goes the Thor, there's the GG from afiLiazn, and there's the end of game number 3, so I'm going to take a short break, rest my voice a little bit. I'll bring you guys game number 4 in just a few minutes.